There is one mistake almost every ambitious man makes. He believes that success depends on finding the right opportunity. Machiavelli would disagree. He would tell you that your future depends far more on finding the right people, because one dishonest person can destroy what 10 years of hard work created. One manipulator can steal your confidence. One false friend can cost you your reputation. One disloyal business partner can erase your wealth. The painful truth is this: most people don't enter your life wearing a warning label. Liars don't introduce themselves as liars. Manipulators don't announce their intentions. Fake friends don't tell you they're temporary. Instead, they arrive as opportunities, as allies, as mentors, as lovers, as business partners, as people who seem to understand you better than anyone else. That's why intelligent men are betrayed every single day. Not because they're stupid, because they're human, and human beings naturally judge appearances before they judge patterns. Machiavelli spent his life observing one uncomfortable reality: the people who can elevate your life and the people who can destroy it often look exactly the same in the beginning. The difference only becomes visible to those who know what to observe. Today, you'll learn 7 Machiavellian principles that will help you recognize the people worth trusting and expose those who should never get close to your future. Because building a great life isn't only about becoming stronger, it's about choosing who gets to walk beside you. Welcome, this is Dark Mind Protocol, and this is the mindset of the Silent Strategist. Imagine meeting someone who agrees with everything you say. They admire your goals, laugh at your jokes, share your opinions, support every decision you make. At first, it feels incredible. Finally, someone who understands me. But Machiavelli would immediately become suspicious, not because agreement is dangerous, but because perfect agreement almost never exists between honest people. Real people disagree. They challenge you. They see life differently. Manipulators, however, mirror you, because mirrors create trust faster than truth. Psychologists call this mirroring. Machiavelli simply called it strategy. The manipulator studies you before you even realize you're being studied. Your ambitions, your fears, your frustrations, your values. Then, little by little, he begins reflecting them back to you. He becomes the person you were hoping to find, not because that's who he is, but because that's who you will trust. The silent strategist never falls in love with instant chemistry. He becomes curious. Why does this person seem perfect? Are they naturally like this, or are they adapting to me? Those 2 questions have saved countless men from years of betrayal. Notice something fascinating. The people who eventually become your strongest allies rarely try to impress you immediately. They don't rush intimacy. They don't force connection. They allow trust to grow naturally. Manipulators don't have that patience. They want shortcuts, fast trust, fast emotional attachment, fast business partnerships, fast commitments, because the faster you become emotionally invested, the harder it becomes for you to think objectively. Machiavelli believed that time is one of the greatest detectors of truth. Time destroys performances, time exposes contradictions, time forces people to stop acting and start being themselves. That's why the silent strategist is never impressed by a first impression or a second. He watches what happens after the excitement disappears, when life becomes ordinary, when there's no reward for pretending. Because character isn't revealed during perfect moments. Character is revealed during ordinary ones. Remember this: if someone seems unbelievably perfect, don't become excited. Become observant. Because the people who change your life for the better rarely need to convince you immediately. The people trying to use you usually do. Machiavelli once observed that power is never given, it is earned. Trust works exactly the same way. The problem is, manipulators don't like earning trust. They prefer accelerating it. Think back to every person who eventually disappointed you. How did the relationship begin? Very often, it moved much faster than it should have. Within days, they called you family. Within weeks, they shared deeply personal stories. Within months, they wanted to become business partners. Everything felt exciting, natural, almost magical. But the silent strategist knows something that emotion often hides. Speed creates emotional blindness. The faster a relationship develops, the less time you have to observe reality. Manipulators understand this better than anyone. That's why they constantly create urgency. We don't need contracts. Trust me. Let's move quickly before the opportunity disappears. I've never connected with someone like this before. Every sentence has the same hidden objective. Reduce your time to think, because time is the enemy of deception. Time exposes inconsistency. Time reveals hidden motives. Time allows emotion to cool down. The manipulator cannot afford that. He needs your decision before your judgment catches up. That's why the silent strategist is never impressed by urgency. He becomes suspicious of it. He asks himself, why does this person need my answer today? Who benefits if I don't slow down? Simple questions. Powerful protection. Healthy people respect your pace. Manipulative people pressure your pace. That difference alone can save you from disastrous relationships, terrible investments, and painful betrayals. Notice something else. The people who genuinely deserve a place in your life rarely fear waiting, because they're building something real. Real friendships survive patience. Real partnerships survive questions. Real loyalty survives time. Only false intentions become uncomfortable when things slow down. Machiavelli believed that patience is a weapon, not because it makes you passive, but because it forces reality to reveal itself. The silent strategist understands that every extra week, every extra conversation, every extra observation increases the probability of seeing the truth. And the truth is always worth waiting for, because one decision made too quickly can become a regret that lasts for years. If someone openly tells you they want to control your life, you'll walk away. Everyone would. That's why manipulators never ask for control. They earn it, little by little, without you noticing. Machiavelli understood that influence is far more effective when it feels like your own decision. The greatest manipulators don't command. They suggest. They don't force. They guide. You realize you've been living according to someone else's expectations instead of your own. It starts with something small. Maybe you shouldn't spend time with him. I don't think that's the right opportunity. You're too trusting. You don't need anyone else. You already have me, individually. None of these statements seem dangerous. Together, they slowly reshape your world. Your circle becomes smaller, your confidence becomes weaker, your dependence becomes stronger. The silent strategist recognizes this pattern immediately, because healthy relationships expand your freedom. Manipulative relationships slowly reduce it. Think about the strongest leaders in history. Did they surround themselves with people who demanded obedience? No. They surrounded themselves with people who encouraged independent thinking. Why? Because truth survives questions. Manipulation survives silence. One of the clearest warning signs is how someone reacts when you disagree with them. A trustworthy person may disagree, but they respect your right to think differently. A manipulator sees disagreement as a threat. They become defensive. They guilt-trip you. They question your loyalty, or worse, they make you feel selfish simply for making your own decisions. Machiavelli warned that dependence is one of the easiest chains to place around another person. Not financial dependence, emotional dependence. The moment someone convinces you that your peace, your confidence, or your happiness depends entirely on them, they've already gained tremendous power over your life. The silent strategist refuses to hand anyone that power, not because he fears intimacy, but because real intimacy never requires surrendering your identity. The right people will challenge you, support you, celebrate your victories, and still encourage you to remain independent. The wrong people will slowly make your world revolve around them, and they'll call it loyalty. Never confuse control with care. One protects your future, the other quietly steals it, because the people worth keeping in your life never need to reduce your freedom in order to keep your trust. Before we continue, let me ask you something. How many times have you looked back on a relationship, a friendship, or a business partnership and thought, the signs were there, I just didn't see them? That's exactly why I created the Dark Mind Protocol. Not to teach manipulation, but to make sure you're never the easiest man in the room to manipulate again. Inside the protocol, you'll learn the complete psychological framework for reading people before they reveal themselves, detecting hidden motives, building unshakable emotional discipline, and developing the quiet confidence that naturally earns respect. Most men learn these lessons after years of betrayal. You can learn them in days. If you're serious about protecting your future, open the first pinned comment, because the most expensive mistakes in life almost always begin with trusting the wrong person. One of the fastest ways to understand someone's true character is to remove every incentive for them to be kind. Machiavelli believed that people reveal themselves most clearly when they have nothing to gain. Anyone can be polite to a millionaire. Anyone can respect the CEO. Anyone can smile at someone who holds power over them. That proves nothing. The real test begins when no reward exists. Watch how someone treats the waiter, the cleaner, the security guard, the intern, the elderly cashier, the stranger who can do absolutely nothing for them. Those moments are incredibly revealing, because there's no audience to impress, no promotion to earn, no advantage to gain, only character remains. The silent strategist pays close attention to these seemingly insignificant interactions. He knows that respect shown only to powerful people isn't respect, it's calculation. Imagine two business partners. One is charming in every meeting, confident, intelligent, professional. But the moment an employee makes a small mistake, his tone changes completely. He humiliates them, raises his voice, treats them as if they were beneath him. What have you just learned? You've learned exactly how he'll treat you the day he no longer needs you. Machiavelli understood that power doesn't create arrogance. Power reveals it. The moment someone believes there are no consequences, their real personality begins to emerge. This is why first impressions are often misleading. People perform when they want something. But maintaining a performance forever is exhausting. Eventually, the mask slips. The silent strategist isn't looking for perfection. He's looking for consistency. Does this person show the same level of respect, whether they're speaking to a billionaire or to someone cleaning the floor? If the answer is yes, you've probably found someone with genuine integrity. If the answer changes depending on status, you've discovered someone who values usefulness more than people. And that's a dangerous person to build your future around, because loyalty based on convenience disappears the moment convenience does. There is a question the silent strategist quietly asks whenever he meets someone new. How do they speak about people who cannot defend themselves? Because that answer predicts your future. Machiavelli understood that words are never random, especially gossip. People often believe gossip reveals something about the person being discussed. In reality, it usually reveals far more about the person speaking. Pay attention. Someone constantly criticizes old friends. They mock former business partners. They expose private conversations. They laugh at someone's failures. At first, you may even enjoy listening. It feels entertaining. It feels like insider information. But the silent strategist sees something else. He realizes one uncomfortable truth. If they'll betray someone in front of you, they'll eventually betray you in front of someone else. Character doesn't suddenly change depending on the audience. Habits repeat. That's why Machiavelli valued discretion. Not because secrets create power, but because self-control creates trust. Notice how truly powerful people rarely feel the need to expose everyone around them. They don't collect gossip. They collect information. There's a difference. Information helps you make better decisions. Gossip feeds your emotions. One protects your future, the other distracts you from it. Imagine you're considering a business partnership. Everything seems perfect. The opportunity looks incredible. Then, during dinner, your potential partner begins insulting someone who helped him years ago. He was useless anyway. I only stayed close because I needed him. People are tools, that's all. Most people ignore comments like these. The silent strategist never does, because he understands that you're listening to someone's operating system, not just their opinion. If loyalty disappears the moment someone is no longer useful, then one day, you'll receive exactly the same treatment. Machiavelli never suggested trusting blindly. He suggested observing patiently. Words spoken casually often reveal beliefs people never intended to expose. That's why the strategist rarely interrupts. He lets people talk, because every unnecessary sentence gives him another piece of the puzzle. Ironically, the people who reveal the most usually believe they're hiding everything, and that's exactly why silence remains one of the greatest advantages you'll ever possess. Speak less, observe more, and let people explain themselves without realizing they're doing it. One of Machiavelli's greatest observations is often misunderstood. People assume he only taught how to defeat enemies. In reality, he also understood the enormous value of choosing allies wisely. Because no empire was ever built alone. The difference between extraordinary men and ordinary men is rarely intelligence. It's the quality of the people they allow into their lives. The silent strategist knows that every relationship is an investment. Some investments multiply your confidence. Others slowly drain it. Think about the people you spend the most time with. After leaving a conversation with them, how do you usually feel? More focused, more disciplined, more optimistic, or more anxious, more confused, more emotionally exhausted? That answer tells you almost everything you need to know. Healthy relationships leave you with greater clarity. Manipulative relationships leave you questioning yourself. Machiavelli believed that your environment quietly shapes your destiny, not through dramatic moments, but through thousands of invisible influences. Imagine two ambitious men with identical talent. The first surrounds himself with disciplined people, people who keep their word, who challenge him respectfully, who celebrate his victories without envy, who encourage growth instead of comfort. The second spends his time around chronic complainers, people who gossip, people who make excuses, people who resent success, people who secretly hope others fail so they don't feel left behind. 5 years later, their lives look completely different. Not because of luck, because influence compounds. Just like money, every conversation changes you a little. Every friendship pulls you in a direction. Every partnership shapes your future. The silent strategist never asks, "Do I like this person?" He asks, "Who am I becoming because of this person?" That single question filters out countless toxic relationships. Because charisma can impress you, humor can entertain you, success can inspire you, but only character can safely accompany you through life. The right people don't compete with your growth. They contribute to it. They don't fear your success. They become stronger because you're becoming stronger. Machiavelli knew that choosing allies is one of the highest forms of strategy, because eventually, you become the average of the minds you trust the most. Choose them carefully. Your future is already taking their shape. There is one lesson Machiavelli understood better than almost anyone. The greatest danger isn't trusting the wrong person. It's trusting the wrong person after the evidence is already obvious. Most betrayals don't happen without warning. They happen after dozens of ignored warnings. A promise that wasn't kept, a small lie, a broken commitment, a strange reaction to your success, a moment when someone's actions quietly contradicted their words. Individually, each one seems insignificant. Together, they form a pattern. The silent strategist doesn't judge isolated mistakes. He studies repeated behavior, because behavior is the language people speak when they're no longer trying to impress you. Imagine someone who apologizes every single time they disappoint you. Their apology sounds sincere. They promise to change. You forgive them. Weeks later, the same thing happens again, and again, and again. Eventually, you realize something. They never lied in their apology. They simply valued your forgiveness more than your trust. Machiavelli believed that wisdom begins when you stop listening only to intentions and start evaluating results. People often tell you who they want to become. Their actions tell you who they already are. That's why the silent strategist never argues with reality. If someone's behavior repeatedly creates chaos, he doesn't wait for the perfect explanation. If someone constantly disrespects boundaries, he doesn't keep negotiating. If someone repeatedly proves they're unreliable, he doesn't build his future on hope, because hope is not evidence. Patterns are. One of the strongest men you'll ever become is the man who accepts uncomfortable truths early, not after years of excuses, not after endless second chances, not after losing everything, but the very first moment reality becomes undeniable. That doesn't make you cold, it makes you wise. The people meant to stay in your life will never require you to ignore your own intuition. They won't force you to constantly explain your boundaries. They won't make you feel guilty for protecting your peace, because real loyalty creates stability. Manipulation creates confusion, and confusion is often the first weapon dishonest people use. If today's video made you rethink even one relationship in your life, then imagine what happens when you learn to recognize manipulation before it reaches you. That's exactly why I created the Dark Mind Protocol. Inside, you'll learn the complete psychological system for reading hidden motives, protecting your emotional discipline, building unshakable confidence, and becoming the kind of man manipulators instinctively avoid. Most men spend years recovering from trusting the wrong people. You don't have to. If you're serious about protecting your future, click the first pinned comment and join the Dark Mind Protocol today. Because your future will never be determined only by the opportunities you choose. It will be determined by the people you allow to walk beside you. Before you leave, I want you to write one sentence in the comments. I trust patterns, not promises. Not because it's a catchy phrase, but because the day you truly live by those words, your life changes. You'll stop chasing appearances. You'll stop ignoring red flags. You'll stop confusing charm with character. And you'll start building relationships that make you stronger instead of weaker. Remember, a wise man isn't the one who never gets betrayed. He's the one who learns to recognize betrayal before it costs him everything. Until next time, protect your mind. Choose your allies carefully. Move in silence, observe relentlessly, and never forget, the people you trust today are building the life you'll live tomorrow.